Hello. My name's Kendrick, founder and CEO of MarketPrompt Marketing Services, and today I'm going to be dropping the complete marketing funnel click to conversion for home servicing businesses. This is mostly just me breaking down the concept of a funnel. If you want to basically have a deep dive into basically every topic that we go into, you could go watch the designated videos. I'll try to get a playlist up and for you. It'll be somewhere. But other than that, let's get into it. So first, where are we? We're going to be using the Meta Business Suite, also known as social media marketing. There's approximately 3 billion active users on both Facebook and Instagram. This is why we have the little symbol here, the little recycle symbol, because what Meta basically does, since they own both platforms, is they basically filter all of the advertisements and content that you post out between both platforms. So whether you post it on Facebook or you post it on Instagram, the content is able to be received by both platforms when you're in the Meta Business Suite. You don't have to run ads on two different platforms. You get what I mean? So, and then on top of that, Instagram generally has the younger population and Facebook carries the older population due to when they were created. That's where and how we're going to be marketing. So we're going to basically be breaking down the marketing funnel where awareness, right? You have the ads and then they get filtered out, right? Some click the landing page, some just scroll, right? So now that they're on the landing page, based off of the copy or the certain elements that you try to persuade that prospect with, they either go through your CRM and sign up, and that's basically when they take action. So awareness is your ads, interest is your page, then they make a decision, and then the action is they get converted through your CRM that you put on your page. So what are we going over today? We're gonna go over how to use Meta. We're gonna go over some brief copywriting examples. We're gonna go over example ads and how to run them. We're gonna go over the use of a landing page and basically just do a summary so that we could just summarize everything that we ran down in this video. So Meta Business Suite. How do we launch ads again? So within the Meta Business Suite, just search up Meta Business Suite. And going to create you a business portfolio where you can also make a Facebook page, and then that would basically be your business page where you will also launch your ads portfolio from within the Meta Ads Manager. I recommend making a Facebook account with 2FA enabled, and you can also upload your ID to basically authenticate, prove that you're human. These are some important steps so that you don't get banned when running ads. Just a simple thing that you could enable within the settings on the app. Other than that, this is mainly where you're going to be running ads, so it's just good to have this set up. We do have a video on that, like I said, how to get that set up and how to get ads running, but we're going to be using the Meta Business Suite in this case. And so within the Meta Business Suite, you're going to have the Meta Ads Manager, where you're going to be making testing campaigns and scaling campaigns. More on that later, but it's good to basically separate the two. And so you'll have your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads. So the campaigns is the big folder. The ad sets is like the elements within the folder. And then the ads is like the writing on the elements. This is what I like to break it down to. And then you'll have your data sets, your dynamic creatives, and your audiences. Those are mainly the big three that you should optimize, right? You opened up Meta Business Suite, you created your account, and then you set up your ads manager and just make sure you have a good understanding of how should we run the ads and the platform to basically manage the ads. And so now we're going to talk about the copywriting integration. This is the type of words that you select in order to guide and inspire prospects to convert into a client and basically buy into your services. And so copywriting on the ads is when you're creating your ads, this is basically the preview that you get on the left. You have a primary text, which is basically where you're going to put most of your ad, right? When you're speaking to the prospect, you're going to have your little headline, might just back up the primary text, a little short text. And then you have the description that basically describes the ad, but most of the time the description is not being used. So you're going to be mostly using the primary text and the headline. And so you're going to be driving into pain and issues. So you, as a service, you know what you're fixing, right? You know what issues or what problems can arise. You know what issues or problems people are dealing with. You know the ins and out, basically. And so you're able to relate with that person's problems and paint a picture and give out your solution, right? Which is your services in this case. So you're going to understand the pain and issues of that person or any probabilities that might happen, which is, just explaining the bad. You're going to get that into their head. So you're going to relate that, right? You're going to basically break down a story or some type of copy. You're going to basically form some type of relation, right? And then paint a picture of their situation. And in that picture, also provide your solution, your services as a solution. And that's basically what sparks interest and drives a click, right? They relate to it. They understand the situation. They know they have a house. You're offering free estimates and free checkups so that they can know that their system's in place and maybe their system hasn't been checked or some possibility, or maybe their house is dirty, right? Just do a free checkup and it sparks interest and drives a click so that they could convert onto your landing page. And so again, we have the copywriting on your landing page. So first on the basically the bait text, the main text that I like, it grasps the prospect, right? So you're basically preparing them for what is this whole company about, right? So you might provide your steps to a better lawn or your steps to a cleaner house, right? Maybe their house is dirty, or a better driveway if you're power washing. And so you're going to make it about them, right? You're going to use words like you or your, right? And you're going to be basically making the whole page specifically to that client, right? If you're going to be talking about how you have expert repairmen or you have good services, you're going to be making it about them, right? Satisfied services, right? So then you could talk about how they're getting a guarantee, right? You're going to be speaking to them. You're getting a guarantee, right? If we have expert repairmen, they don't have to worry. You're going to be speaking to them about that, right? You have to make it like you're talking to them. And that's how you're supposed to write onto these pages and onto these ads. And so on top of that, you're going to be adding elements where you're going to be including your key strengths, and you're going to be basically normalizing it, right? You're going to normalize your services. And that meaning when you add reputation management and you're talking to the client and you're explaining how good your business is, you're going to normalize it, right? You're going to be explaining how this business is amazing, and you're going to be explaining how they should get with you because you do much better, and they're going to feel like the whole thing is catered to them. First, you relate it to them, you spark their interest with the copywriting on the ad, and then they go to your page and then you're still talking to them, right? It doesn't feel like they can go off. And then the thing is, your landing page is already going to be simple because it's a landing page, right? You don't have too many crazy elements. So you're going to glamorize your services and you're going to normalize it with that reputation management. And basically, this is all to just drive a conversion. You're just going to make it all about the client. And that's basically what copywriting is. And so we're going to go over some example ads and how to set that up and basically get the click. So the thing about service-based ads is it has to be simple. A lot of people are used to making these forms, or they're used to making these flyer type ads where it has everything. And this is like the type of stuff that you open your mailbox and you see everything about the company and it's done. But then again, we're talking about social media here. So you can't put all of that in front of them and expect them to read it when they could just scroll, right? They're scrolling, they're scrolling, they're scrolling. People don't look at billboards. People don't worry about you if you're waving a sign outside. They just want to get home and they just want to relax. And they're probably going to hop on Facebook or Instagram and start scrolling on wheels mindlessly. My parents do it. Everyone do it. Homeowners do it. And that's why we're here. They have the fifth grade attention span. So we cannot have crazy ads like this. We have to have ads like this where it's more simple. It's more straightforward. Names what you do. Might have a comparison, but more on that later. Here's some good comparisons here. So we have these big ads. We have all this stuff. I mean, like, mind you, if you mailed this to somebody's house, it would convert. But we're talking about social media here again. So we have these simple ads. One here where they're getting a little discount, right? That's the bait that I talked about. They're including their bait into their ad, right? They're giving something so that that prospect could bite on, right? They're giving out something for free so they could bite on it, right? It's just like fishing, bait. So this was like $100 off of a repair and basically gets them into the door. And then they're basically talking to them with the copyright. Here we have a free roofing estimate. That's basically the bait. They come in, oh, you got a free estimate? Okay, how much could this hurt me? And then they click, right? And then you could put in some copywriting where you're talking about them. Now, this copy might not be optimal due to the fact that they're talking about themselves and not talking to the prospect's issue, or basically highlighting issues that could probably arise. But then again, the ad itself, the ad creative itself on these two ads is amazing. And so when you create these good ads, you have to put it in a testing campaign. And so the thing with these testing campaigns is You have some ads that will get no spin, and you have some ads that get all spin, or the majority spin, or a large amount of spin, or it keeps getting spent, right? The ads that keep getting spent is your winning ads in this case, right? And the ads that don't get that much spin, you just toss them. And that's basically it. And the thing with ads is you can't just run one ad the whole month. You can't run 4 ads the whole month. You might run 4 ads bi-weekly. You could get away with that, most definitely. But you have to swap them out because sometimes ads fail, and then sometimes a particular ad might get more spin than another based off of the meta algorithm, and basically it will put out what people are more likely to respond to. Now, that doesn't mean bottleneck and make only video ads, because some people respond to photo ads more. Some respond to still image ads more than video image ads. We both know this. So you have to put a good mixture in there, and it will spin accordingly. As long as you set up that pixels and all that other stuff that you need to basically have the ad scale. Again, go to the ads video if you want a breakdown on that. And then again, here we have the scaling campaign, where basically you're going to take your winning ads and paste them into here and put the majority of your ad spin in. So this might be about 30, 35%, maybe 40, depending on how it's doing. And then this is going to be your majority. This is going to be your 60, 70%, right? This is going to be where most of your money goes in, and it basically takes as much as your ad spin and boosts it until it stops responding, until your prospects are getting bored of it, until your target market is getting bored of it, until your service area is getting bored of it. It will keep spinning and spinning and spinning until they stop performing. And at which, if you were testing ads properly, you would have another ad to be able to run into the scaling campaign. And you just keep doing that to get clicks and get leads onto your landing page, which they convert. Again, now we're talking about a landing page where we're going to be driving all the attention towards you. So the thing about service pages is they cannot be like this. This is a website. If you have different breakdowns, you have different pages, if you have all this stuff on the page, it's a website. Now, these are good if you're doing SEO where people are actively looking for you to solve their problem. And, that's a different type of conversion. But in this case, if we're spinning ads to grab their attention, we have to make their attention as focused as possible, which is why we use pages like this nowadays where it's so minimal, because it just guides them, it informs them, it grasps them, and it gets them to just put their information in. And if you have a good bait, no issues whatsoever. You have a high conversion, you have quality leads. If everything's done properly, you have a quality lead and you have a lot of them. And that's the difference within social media marketing. We cannot have what you would normally do with some SEO and some PPC where people are actively searching for you. You're more so trying to grasp them, and that's the whole way that this works. And so you want to use main elements like this. So this one has a CRM right here where they're just collecting their main email, right? It tells them what they do. It gives a little support line under it, and then you got the CRM right here. This one too tells them what they do. Got a little support, get a little CRM, sign up for something. This one's good as well. This one has who they're trusted by, or some of their reviews, or who they work with. Again, they make a claim, a little bit of support text, CRM. They click the button, give them their information. This one here, HelloFresh, right? What they do, what they solve, a little support text, boom, view their plans. But the good thing about this one is, which I like this one more, is it goes into more of the different elements that you can add onto a landing page. Like this one, why choose it, right? What is inside the box, right? Even though this is a little mixture of a product page and a service page, the same thing applies, right? If you're going to be fixing people's grass, lawn, HVAC, whatever, anything house related, their pipes, their plumbing, you're going to explain what you're going to be solving, a little support text. You're going to put your CRM at the top, and then the rest of the page is dedicated to why your services. And you're going to be talking to the prospect. You're still going to be adding those elements of copywriting. And that's basically how you want your landing page to be. And so you're going to be also adding reputation management, which is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to get feedback. You're going to add your Google Business Profile. And once you add your Google Business Profile to that landing page and you get reviews, you basically, again, you normalize your services. And so people will feel more like your business is actually real. Because, when it comes to choosing what we like, have you ever seen someone order food like from a third person perspective? People will pick something and then say no halfway through. I mean, it happens the most with what we eat, right? We're so conscious about what we put in our body, right? Some people, food is a crazy topic when it comes to what you like. Everyone has a favorite food. Everyone's don't know what they're going to eat for that day, or they might have something different, or they're getting tired or something. It's very in depth on how we think, and so basically the reviews unify us as a whole and makes us feel normalized, because majority rules. If majority is saying this is 5 stars, we're going to naturally lean towards the 5 stars because we don't want to feel like an outcast. I don't know why humans act like that, but being an outcast or seeming different, we make decisions based off of the majority because that's what our brain think is the quickest. So make sure you add reputation management to your landing page. It's probably the most important element, which is why I separate it. So we're going to be talking about the funnel as a whole. Where are we now? Once you add those elements of the Meta Business Suite, you learn Meta Business Suite, and then you learn copywriting, right? You know how to you know how to talk to the prospect. Then you create proper ads and a proper page. You have a full funnel. It's very simple. We don't have to sit here for an hour 30 where I have to show you a live thing. No, the concept of a funnel is very easy. So you have your Meta Business Suite, right? It has your page, it has your ads, you have a testing campaign and a scaling campaign. Simple as that. Social media marketing, 3+ billion between Facebook and Instagram. And this basically holds your Facebook page and your ads. Boom, right? Copywriting. It grabs the attention. It gives a perspective, right? You're basically, you know what's up with them, right? You know what's their problem. You know their problems, and you give them solutions, right? You know their problem. You know their situations. You can relate to it. You paint a picture. You paint a solution. How are you going to solve that issue of theirs? And it sparks a click and it guides conversions, right? So they grabs their attention. They relate to it. You give them a solution. They click it, and then on that page, it grasps them and it converts them. Copywriting, right? Talking them through a conversion. Ad creatives, right? Very simple, very good UI, matches the business, you know what I'm saying? Matches the business colors, and it has the bait, right? Has the bait, $100 off, free roofing estimate, proper copy. Now, the copywriting on this could be better. You know what I'm saying? Probably some normal guy that did this, but if we're talking about professional services and you having, the difference between a couple percentages and a couple 100,000, millions of dollars, if we're talking about the larger scale, some proper copy between both of these, and you would have a winning ad, no problem. They're simple, right? They have a good UI. They don't fry their brain cells, and it basically grabs their attention. No issues, right? So if you had some good copy up here, plus this text here where they're getting 100% off, of course they're going to be interested. That homeowner will be right on your quota, right on your book, and ready to convert and ready to get their house power washed, plumbed, or whatever. And then you have your landing page. Grasp the prospects and set them up. It sets them up for your services, sets them up to learn all about you, and basically gets them mentally ready to understand that you're about to be the next game changer, right? So you're going to be talking specifically to the prospect. You're going to have elements about your services, like here we have on HelloFresh, where they're basically talking about why choose it, right? What's happening with our services, right? And you're going to have your CRM, right? Can't collect the prospect's data without a CRM, which is a customer relations management, client relations management, however you want to call it. And then you're going to have your special included reputation management, just so that you can basically make your landing page feel normalized. And so that's the marketing funnel, where at the top you have your ads where they're going to be clicking. You have the interest where they're going to be basically clicking onto your landing page after the ad. This is where they're going to be deciding if they buy or they don't buy. And that's when they're going to convert through your CRM and sign up for your services. And that's basically a marketing funnel. It's nothing more crazy. So what did we go over today? We went over how to use the Meta platforms, which is the Meta Business Suite. Went over some brief copywriting examples on both ads and landing pages. We went over how to, differentiate ads, good ads, bad ads, and how to test them and scale them. We went over how your landing page should be formatted and basically just funnel breakdown. It's very simple. It's just add, page, convert. And it's just the small things in between that allow you to crank out those percentages, to crank out those extra prospects per month, to crank out a good business. Because marketing, we all know marketing is an executive level of business, but business is hard. We are MarketPrompt, a remote marketing agency. That's the complete marketing funnel. If you want a complete marketing funnel done for your business, you can contact us in the description or find our website, marketpromptofficial.com. My name's Kendrick, founder and CEO of MarketPrompt Marketing Services, and that's marketing done by your marketing superheroes. You have a good one.